What's up YouTube, Cap over here and welcome to the Cap side. Today I'm glad to be back as lately I've been feeling sick and not really up to par. I've been putting a lot of my energy to the RBL just because that's where my mind's at this moment. But I'm glad to be feeling better and doing 6v6 recordings for you guys as you guys make this channel possible and encourage us. And if you haven't already, subscribe or give this video a like, a little pat on the back, and say, you know what, I'm glad you're feeling better, Cap. And if you were watching this battle if you're sick, be sure to drink some OJ, cuddle in bed, and enjoy this video. And I hope you get better because being sick sucks and you need to do life. So that's a little Cap advice for you. As today I'm going to bring you a UU battle with Tyrese. And he messaged me on Reddit and I encourage that a lot, as I'm going to bring in my Meloetta, Titrums, Delix, Pidgeot, Quagsire, and the Goodra, as we see that he's bringing a potential rain team, and that frightens me because rain teams are very dominant in this meta. They are not seeing as much light of day as they normally do, but they're scary. They're a scary team when they're performed correctly, and I'm going to get this battle on the way. Hopefully there's no salt in that rain shower, or I brought an umbrella because I do know that rain is coming in this battle, as I'm going to send out Meloetta, as I figured it'd be a solid choice, a pretty solid choice, as Cruella will make her appearance, and Cruella's looking pretty scary, decides it's going to protect. See what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go for a Relic Song, as I am the physical variant of Meloetta. So I go for a Relic Dance. It does a decent amount of damage, it does so much damage, and I'm happy with that because now I can just take it down with a knockoff or continue my shenanigans, as it's going to set up some toxic spikes, and I'm like, well, now all my Pokemon are going to be poisoned when they enter the field. That's never a good time. I'm not happy about that. I'm actually quite bitter, as I'm going to go for a knockoff, telling Cruella to knock it off. It ain't cool when you're hurting Dalmatians because Dalmatians are so cute. And it keeps on doing its shenanigans. I'm like, yo man, yo, that ain't nice. That's not cool. As it's gonna go for Protect. For some reason, I didn't realize why it went for Protect. And I'm just gonna go for a knockoff, as when you want to deliver a message, you always go for it twice, and Cruella gets the gist of what I was saying, as he's gonna send out a Helios, and I have close combat on this thing. I'm pretty confident I can outspeed it, unless if it's Scarfed, and I'm just going to take it down in one hit. I'm already up 2-0, and I'm feeling pretty confident because Meloetta is still at a decent amount of health, where I can keep on taking things down, and even taking a couple hits, as Kabutops will make an appearance, and really just scare me. Just really scare me, but I know I can take an Aqua Jet. That was its only option to really go for it. Seeing the Aqua Jet, I thought it was just gonna be not Scarfed, but it ends up being Scarfed and lives on 1. That's my defense will drop, and my special defense will drop, and I will take Life Orb. Meloetta is not taking a good amount of hits right now, so I decided to switch out and go into Quagsire, as it was way too predictable that he was gonna go for an Aqua Jet. So I can get my Water Absorb off and look pretty nice, look pretty healthy. So luckily there is no rain, so Kabutops will not get that Swift Swim, and No Care Sam can just proceed in taking this Kabutops down. I will lose my leftovers, but I ain't bitter about that. Quagsire is not bitter about that, and Quagsire has done his job, so I was like, Quagsire, you've done good. You've done good, son. As Bolt will come on out, and I know Bolt carries Grass Knot, and I don't want to stay in against a Pokemon that has Grass Knot, but I make a really bonehead play here and go into my heaviest Pokemon on my team. And midway through the click, I realized, I was like, why did I send my heaviest Mon out here? That was really bad of me. As Ed's gonna go for a serve and proceed and take me out, and that was just a series of really bad plays, as it's gonna take more Life Orb damage, and I'm just gonna go for X Ruther because it will outspeed and just take it down, and I'm happy with that because Rex Ruther wrecks lots of things, just like Lex Luthor. Lots of references right there, just in that one sentence. And I will proceed in taking out the Raichu, and I'm feeling pretty confident because I'm up. I only lost one Pokemon, I think, at this moment of time. And he has 2 more, so I decided there was no point of making risks of predictions and stuff, and I just go into the safe play, go into Raspberry to take possibly the Dragon Pulse, or whatever what it was going to do, and simply cash that Dragon Pulse, buy a yacht, and sail off to Neverland. You know, do one of those things, as Gudra can take this hit. It is Assault Vested, it's special, and Gudra just eats that right off. Doesn't, not to my standards, but it's a decent amount of damage he absorbed. As he's going to go for a Dragon Pulse, I decided to go for Sludge Bomb because if he wants to switch out, save this thing, I could potentially poison the Vaporeon, and Sludge Bomb is most likely going to take the Geico out. The Sceptile only didn't do that much, and once again, I'm feeling pretty confident as Vaporeon is his last Pokemon, and from my understanding of Vaporeon, it probably just carries Wish, Scald, Ice Beam, and Toxic. So I decided I'd go for Poison or a Sludge Bomb, hoping I could get the Poison, which I do, but this thing is the Hydration set, which means it has Rest. And I was so mad. This is the start of me being salty because, as you guys will see, guys and girls, you will see that Rex Ruther cannot take this thing down, and I was really hoping that it would because this thing carries Rest. It is most likely going to carry Rest. As I go for a Head Smash, I'm hoping that it could take it down, but it doesn't. I ran the calculations. Outrage didn't do enough damage, and Head Smash would barely proceed in taking it down, so I was really banking on the thought that it might have, but it doesn't, and I can get outstalled here by poison damage. So that's never a good time unless he goes for 1 turn up Surf, and I decide to go for another Head Smash, miss it, gets the Rest, but that was just a turn of waste. I just take damage from poison, and once again I'm going to go for a Head Smash over here, as we see, and do a decent amount as he's just going to rest once again, and Vaporeon is being played to the book of how you should play Vaporeon. He should write a book of how to play Vaporeon, because this is what it does. This is how bulky this thing is, and I'm getting slowly dwindled down thanks to poison damage. And I decide to make a switch over here because he was probably just gonna rest or do some of those shenanigans as I sent out Fire and Wind, having the Hurricane and whatnot. But somehow he makes a prediction and goes into Surf, and that does a lot of damage. And that wasn't a play I should have done. I shouldn't have done that because Fire and Wind doesn't take toxic damage. And seeing the Hurricane, I could have potentially taken it down. I should have stayed into Rex Ruther. Could have, would have, but didn't. And he's just gonna take down my Fire and Wind, my wind condition, by the way. And I'm gonna hope that I could potentially take down Vaporeon, as Vaporeon is at an amount of health where I could take it down. So I'm gonna go into Rex Ruther, and I'm like, alright Rex Ruther, you can take down this thing, as I'm gonna go for a Head Smash, but it misses. And you'll see how big this miss was, as he's gonna get leftovers and get about 17-20 HP back, as I'm gonna go for a Head Smash because I decide Rex Ruther, I do live on 1, which is awesome. That's so awesome. But I'm gonna go for a Head Smash, and you'll see how close this was. It was a 1 HP closeness, as I'm gonna go down to Toxic because when you lose, okay, spoiler alert, I do end up losing this battle. There's no surprise. The only Pokemon I have is Scarlet and Quagsire, and Scarlet cannot take this thing down in 1 hit. I ran the calculations. There was no possible way that I could take it down in this form. Yeah, and I was Life Orb, so I knew I wasn't gonna live a couple turns. I was hoping I'd get a crit. That was the only way I could possibly win, or get a full unheard of 7 turns of sleep, because Quagsire doesn't have enough power to take this thing down, and No Care Sam will make an appearance. And I was getting super salty because this was a really long battle in real time, and it was a painful battle to play because you see that you played good for the whole match, but when you come against a wall like this, your whole strategy just falls apart. And I was getting salty. I was getting really salty. He's just gonna set up the rain dance, and I'm like, come on, No Care Sam, you can get the crit. You can get the crit. And when you have to bank on the crit will not come, because that's not how Pokemon is. That's not the justice system. And I'm not gonna take it down. It does outspeed me. It's gonna rest, and it can. Once again, I do lose this battle because I don't have the power enough, and I simply misplayed Vaporeon. I completely misplayed it. Take nothing away from him outplaying me at the very end, because I didn't play my Mon on how I should have played them, and Vaporeon just walled me. But I was really salty because when you lose a battle thanks to one Pokemon, you could get pretty salty, and I was so close to just I didn't know how this was happening, because it was just so it was so frustrating, and I'm even getting salty rewatching this battle, because I knew what my train of thought was, and I knew when I lost this battle was when No Care Sam didn't get any crits, when I missed that head smash, when I didn't yeah, I was salty. As we see, that Quagsire will finally go down, and that will be a 1-0 victory on Tyrese. Take nothing away. Tyrese played Vaporeon to the book on how you should play Vaporeon. He should write a book on how you should play Vaporeon, because that's how one Pokemon takes out 1, 2, 3, 4 Pokemon that were potentially could have taken it down. And I just simply I didn't play it properly. So thanks for the battle, Tyrese. You played Vaporeon to the book. And subscribe, like. If you enjoyed me being salty and somewhat bitter, give the like button a little pat. You know, tell me it's gonna be okay, that there's gonna be tomorrow. But you can't. I got over it. It's Pokemon. Things happen. Walls are real, and you know what? You live and you learn, right? Live and learn. And yeah, you can't take everything so heavy. And yeah, for sure, check out the other videos. Check out the Crump side, check out the Cap side, check out the RBL. Do whatever you want. And this is Cap, signing off. Staying in. I go for the Earthquake. I think this might be it, right? Does take it down. Barely. Oh man.
Alright, let's see the flamethrower. Let me see live that. I'm gonna live that. Just fine.